You stop explaining yourself. You stop proving your worth. Not because you've stopped caring, but because you finally started healing. Let them walk away. If they could leave you while you were still bleeding, still fighting, still giving, they were never built to stand beside you in your becoming. Some people were only ever meant to be chapters, not your whole story. And when they walk away, that's not the end. It's the beginning of you finding yourself without the noise of people who never saw your value. So don't hold the door for those who closed it in your face. Don't beg for presents from those who made you feel like a burden. You're better without the weight of people who never knew how to carry you. They walked away because they couldn't handle the fire inside you. Not because you were too much, but because you were everything they pretended to be. Your presence made them feel exposed. Your truth made them feel small. And instead of rising to meet your energy, they chose to disappear. But listen closely. Their walking away was never your loss. It was a divine unveiling. God used their exit to show you their true character, not to hurt you, but to free you. Because every person who left, every silence you didn't understand, every distance you didn't deserve, it all created space. Space for your healing, space for your peace, space for alignment, space for the version of you that no longer settles, no longer begs, no longer breaks to be accepted. You spent so long blaming yourself, wondering what you could have done differently. Maybe if you were quieter, more patient, less intense, more agreeable, maybe they would have stayed. But you don't need to shrink to be loved. You don't need to perform to be chosen. You only need to be real, and that alone will remove the ones who never truly valued you. They didn't walk away because of your flaws. They walked away because of your growth, because deep down, they were never committed to your becoming, only to your belonging. And the moment you outgrew their comfort zone, you became a threat. Let that sink in. Your strength triggered their weakness. Your healing exposed their wounds. Your confidence reminded them of how much they still hide. And that's not on you. You were loyal, even when they were inconsistent. You gave, even when they offered excuses. You stayed, long after they emotionally checked out. And now you think you lost something. You lost the illusion. You lost the attachment. You lost the weight. But what you gained, that's the part no one talks about. You gained clarity. You gained boundaries. You gained the courage to protect your peace, no matter who gets offended. You gained the ability to sit with your own soul and feel whole again. Because the moment they walked out, something else walked in. Self-worth. You started choosing yourself. You started healing in silence. You started loving the parts of you that others overlooked. And now you walk with a different kind of power. The kind that doesn't need validation. The kind that doesn't chase, doesn't explain, doesn't wait. Because when you finally see who someone is without your presence, you stop asking for their return. You stop waiting for closure. You stop expecting apologies that were never sincere. You just let go, not because you're bitter, but because you're finally free. You're not better off because they left. You're better off because you saw who they were. When you were no longer carrying the relationship on your back. They were never your forever. They were your lesson, a mirror, a test, a season. So don't mourn their absence. Don't replay the betrayal. Don't keep watering a connection that was already dry when you showed up. Let them walk away. Let them go with their silence. Let them go with their pride. Let them go with their misunderstandings. Because the right people will never make you beg to be seen. The right people won't leave when it gets hard. The right people won't punish your light. They'll protect it. And until those people arrive, be that person for yourself. Love yourself enough to not chase what's running. Value yourself enough to not reopen what God has closed. Respect yourself enough to choose peace over patterns. Your destiny never needed them. Your future is not behind you. It's within you. And now that they're gone, you finally have room to grow without limits. So stop waiting. Stop wondering. Stop hurting over those who chose to walk away. Their exit wasn't your ending. It was your awakening. Let them walk away because you were always better without them. If you've been carrying silent pain from people who left without a goodbye, if you've ever blamed yourself for being too much, too loyal, too available, if this message made something inside you finally breathe again, this is your moment. Don't hold it in. Don't stay silent like you always do. Declare something for yourself, not for them, for you. Drop this in the comments as your personal turning point. They left. I rose. Let those words be the burial of what you used to carry. Let them echo louder than the silence they left you in. And as you type it, know this: you're not alone. You're not the only one who gave too much and got too little. But you are one of the few strong enough to turn that pain into purpose. So share this with someone who's been quietly breaking but needs to hear that losing them wasn't the loss. It was the beginning. And let your words in the comments be the reason someone else doesn't go back to what broke them.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a moment to imagine something. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning to a completely different life. The life you've always dreamed of. No stress, no regrets, no feelings of being stuck. You feel confident, unstoppable, and finally free to chase your goals and live your purpose. Now let me ask you this: what's stopping you from making that dream your reality? Here's the truth. It's not your circumstances, your background, or your lack of resources that's holding you back. It's your mindset. You see, everything in life begins and ends with how you think. Your thoughts determine your actions determine your habits, and your habits shape your destiny. Today, we're going to break free from the chains of negative thinking. By the end of this speech, you'll have tools, insights, and a fresh perspective to transform your mindset. And in doing so, change your life. I want you to stay with me. Why? Because this could be the moment that changes everything for you. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young elephant tied to a tiny wooden stake with a thin rope. The elephant could have easily broken free, but it didn't even try. Why? Because as a baby, it had been tied to that same rope. Back then, it wasn't strong enough to break free, and over time, it gave up trying. That elephant grew into one of the most powerful animals on the planet, yet it remained stuck, simply because it believed it couldn't break free. How many of us are just like that elephant, held back by old beliefs, past failures, and self-doubt? Here's the truth. The only thing stronger than the chains holding you back is the belief that you can't break them. And that belief is a lie. Let me explain why mindset matters so much. If you believe you can, you will. If you believe you can't, you won't. Your beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies. Think about this. Every single successful person you admire had moments of doubt, fear, and failure. But they didn't let those moments define them. They changed their mindset. Take Serena Williams, for example. She once said, "I don't like to lose at anything, yet I've grown most not from victories but setbacks." She transformed every failure into a lesson and every lesson into a win. The question is, will you do the same? Let's get real. What's holding you back right now? Is it fear, self-doubt, the belief that you're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough? Whatever it is, I want you to write it down. Seriously, grab a piece of paper or your phone and write it down. Identify the one limiting belief that's keeping you stuck. Now let me tell you something powerful. That belief is a story you've told yourself. And just like any story, it can be rewritten. Here's how. Recognize the belief for what it is. Ask yourself, where did this come from? Maybe it came from a failure, a rejection, or someone who told you couldn't do it. Challenge the belief. Ask, is this really true? Most of the time it's not. You've just repeated it so many times that it feels true. Replace the belief. For example, instead of saying, "I'll never succeed," say, "I am learning and growing every day. Success is within my reach." You need to understand this. The way you talk to yourself matters. Your words shape your reality. So stop talking down to yourself. Start speaking life into your dreams. Now let's talk about the one thing that separates dreamers from doers: action. Here's the thing. You can't think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into it. But here's where most people get stuck. They wait for the perfect time. Let me tell you something. There is no perfect time. There's only now. If you're waiting for all the stars to align, you'll be waiting forever. The perfect time to start is the moment you decide to stop waiting. Let me give you a simple framework to take action. Start small. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just take one small step today. Maybe it's sending that email, signing up for that class, or setting your alarm an hour earlier. Be consistent. Success doesn't come from one big leap. It comes from showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Embrace failure. Stop fearing failure. It's not the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every failure is a stepping stone. Track your progress. Celebrate the small wins. Every step forward is proof that you're moving in the right direction. You may think changing your mindset is just about you, but it's not. Your transformation has a ripple effect. When you change, the world around you changes. Think about this. When one person has the courage to step up, take action, and live boldly, it inspires others to do the same. Imagine this scenario. You're stuck in a job you hate, living paycheck to paycheck. But one day you decide you're done settling. You start learning new skills, taking risks, and pursuing a career you're passionate about. Over time, you build a life that's not only successful but fulfilling. Do you know what happens next? Your family notices. Your friends notice. People start asking you, "How did you do it?" Your story becomes their inspiration. Your courage gives them permission to believe in themselves. This is the ripple effect. Your decision to change your mindset can uplift your family, your community, and even strangers you may never meet. The power you have to influence the world starts with the power you have to influence yourself. When you step into your potential, you light the way for others to do the same. So don't just change your mindset for you. Do it for the people who are watching you. Do it for the people who need your story. You see, no matter how much you achieve, if you don't practice gratitude, you'll never feel fulfilled. Success without gratitude is empty. So right now, I want you to think of 3 things you're grateful for. Maybe it's your family, your health, or even the opportunity to listen to this speech. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, and that simple shift can transform your life. Gratitude also helps you reframe challenges. When you face setbacks, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Perspective is everything. A person who sees problems as obstacles will always feel defeated. But a person who sees problems as opportunities will always find a way forward. Here's a real example. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed over 1,000 times before he succeeded. When asked about his failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the power of perspective. What if you started seeing every failure as a step closer to success? What if you started seeing every challenge as a chance to grow? Gratitude and perspective are the ultimate mindset hacks. They keep you grounded, motivated, and focused on what truly matters. Now let's talk about legacy. What do you want to leave behind? How do you want to be remembered? You see, life is short. We only get one shot at this, and the clock is always ticking. But here's the good news. It's not too late to create a legacy you're proud of. Your legacy doesn't start someday. It starts today, with the choices you make, the actions you take, and the mindset you embrace. Let me leave you with this thought. The most successful people in history weren't born extraordinary. They became extraordinary through grit, perseverance, and an unshakable belief in themselves. They weren't afraid to fail. They weren't afraid to dream big. So what's stopping you? I challenge you to live each day as if it's part of your legacy. Speak kindly to yourself and others. Take risks that scare you. Show up for your dreams even when it's hard. And most importantly, never settle. Never settle for a mediocre mindset, a mediocre life, or a mediocre legacy. You are capable of more than you realize. You are stronger than you think. And the best part, your journey is just beginning. So go out there and make the decision to change your mindset. Make the decision to change your life. And remember, the world is waiting for you to step into your greatness. Thank you for being here. Now go out and show the world what you're capable of.